Ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can I have your attention for just a moment, please? I've been given permission to say hello and introduce myself. For those of you who have never met me, which is probably very likely, my name is Liz Reinhardt. I am the Veterans Coordinator with the Leatherstocking Honor Flight. Anybody been on an honor flight? All right, so there's a lot of veterans in this room that have never been on an honor flight. And I happen to have applications with me. And we have an honor flight going out October 5th for a one-day flight down to Washington, D.C. If you'd like to pick up an application today, you can. And the other reason I wanted to talk this evening is the two things that we do with Leatherstocking Honor Flight in addition to the flights. We also have what's called the Purple Heart Mission. Do we have any Purple Heart recipients? Paul, thank you very much for your service. We also have another one. Our Purple Heart Mission is a one-day trip down to the Catskills where we go to the Purple Heart Hall of Honor. It's a day trip that we do, and we honor our veterans that have received this Purple Heart and do a day trip where it's a very special day. Paul, did you do that with us last year? I thought so. And we would love to take you this year when we go on our Purple Heart trip. And it's a day of relaxation and good food and camaraderie. And we get you registered at the Hall of Honor if you have not been registered yet. And great meal at the Thayer Hotel in the evening. The other thing that we do is we're registered with and we are partners with Homeward Bound, which is an organization in the Adirondacks that does retreats. It's for combat veterans or veterans that are suffering with PTSD, veterans that would like to go on a retreat and be, I don't know how to put it, just be with other veterans that like to communicate with each other and have the camaraderie around a campfire to talk to each other and discuss what is important to them. I have never sat around a campfire because I'm not a veteran, so I'm not invited down there. But I've been to Camp Cook, and they say I'm a pretty good cook. But they say these campfires conversations are wonderful. I've seen the change in some of the girls, the ladies that have taken part in it. I've seen one lady that came in on a Friday night that was very shut in, very quiet, didn't want to speak with anybody, didn't want to, be part of anything. And by Sunday afternoon, she was gung-ho, ready to be part of it again next weekend or next retreat that we did, and was very glad that she came to be part of it. There are veterans that are very quiet and to themselves, and they share in this retreat in a way that they never thought they could. Our director, Greg, is on the board of directors with Homeward Bound, and he's thrilled with the reception that he gets from these veterans and says that it's something that he is totally pleased with the outcome that he receives. And the campfires and the meals and the time that they spend together, they do outdoor activities, they climb, they hike, they canoe, they fish, they kayak. They do everything in the outdoors that you can in the Adirondacks, and he thinks that it's the best part of being with this group. So if anybody is interested in that, I've got the flyers for that. You can take that information also. Thank you for letting me speak with you tonight. I really enjoy it, and enjoy your meal.
Dave.
Don't know me. My name is Sarah Barenko, and I'm the director of the Montgomery County Public Health and Mental Health Department. And this evening, I'd like to start by welcoming you to our first ever Dwyer Let Us Serve You dinner. The funding for our programming through the Dwyer program comes from the Office of Mental Health through New York State. Assemblyman Smullen is going to talk a little bit about that funding and program as we move through the evening. But I wanted to say a couple of words of thank you, not only to all of you who came tonight and trusted us that this would be our first event and we would kind of pull it off. I think we did pretty well, so thank you. I'd like to thank Dan Colon from our IT department for recording this for us this evening. Connie Kucher, who you all spoke to RSVP. Everybody has a wingman. I have a Connie, which if those of you who spoke to Connie, you know it's just as good. Brenda Rava, who is our Director of Veteran Services, and she is a brand new VSO, Veteran Services Officer, recently completed her certification. We have Randy Weaver, who most of you work with and know. He is our Veteran Service Officer through Montgomery County. And we have two special guests that came all the way from Albany this evening. Believe it or not, I know it's the big city, but we have Scott and Joe who came to us this evening from Albany County. And they have sort of willingly decided to partner with us on a few events. We are very close to Albany, as many of you know. And they have been hosting a number of programs at the MVP Arena, working with the Firewolves, the lacrosse team, the Firebirds, the football team. I got those right guys? Good. But they also brought you all an invitation for an event on June 15th at Lawson's Lake Country Park in Albany County. And Randy and Brenda have agreed that we will work to get a coach bus full of you together to attend this event for free on June 15th. So you can call Randy tomorrow and sign up at the office with him and Brenda, or you can also contact my office and we'll get the information together. And it's free, right? We like that word? Free? Yes. If it's free, it's for me. So thank you. And so just a few things about our Dwyer program here in Montgomery County. We were actually one of the last counties in New York State to be awarded this funding. We got our first round of funding in our award letter in August of 2022, which came to us in January of 2023. So we're only about a year and 5 months and 23 days old, but in this time we've done a couple of big events. Some of you may have participated in our Easter basket and Easter dinners that we hosted in April of 2023 in Fort Plain and Amsterdam. We've also been able to assist several younger veterans send their children to summer camps so that they could work. So part of our program is to help veterans of all ages as well as their families. So we were able to give scholarships to some families to assist their children with summer camps. Over the winter, we helped with a indoor swimming program through the Amsterdam City School District pool. We were able to open the pool during the winter months so that folks could utilize the pool and swim. We had 168 veterans and their families attend those swim nights, which was a great success for us. One of the programs that I'm most proud of was in October of this past year, on October 2nd. Actually, Assemblyman Smullen was there with us. We hosted a pinwheel remembrance. I didn't do it in November for Veterans Day because I was afraid it was going to be cold and the ground was going to be frozen. So I did it in October. At our public safety office, we planted over 6,000 pinwheels on the front lawn of the sheriff's office and the public safety facility. The goal of that really was to showcase the 22 veterans a day that take their lives to suicide. And when we're thinking about our military men and women and the goal of the Dwyer program, it really is to help folks reintegrate into civilian life and not have to suffer with PTSD, TBI, substance abuse issues alone. And our slogan is, "You are never alone. There is always somebody here for you." And so when we hosted that pinwheel project, it was a huge success, and I'm looking forward to doing that again this year. We know November in upstate New York, especially in the Mohawk Valley here in Montgomery County, it could be 90 degrees, it could be 90 to below with 90 feet of snow. So we don't know. So I'm going to shoot for October again. The other thing we were able to do this year was we were working with our Office for the Aging, and we bought Christmas presents and gifts and visited with a number of veterans throughout the county, and we were able to bring smiles to several faces. Veterans who lived alone or had small children, and they were just in a place where they weren't able to celebrate the holidays, so we were able to help with that. We had Coffee Club in Canajoharie throughout the month of September, October, and November. Every Wednesday we had a coffee hour at the firehouse. But one of the projects I'm most excited about is our PGA golf program that we are working with. So last summer, the Amsterdam Municipal Golf Course, which I didn't know this, but Muni always ends up as one of the top 100 golf courses in the county. I won't say this in front of the county executive, but who knew we had something that nice in Montgomery County? But I was very excited when I saw that the PGA was hosting a program specifically for disabled veterans to play golf and have adaptive golf equipment so that they could utilize a professional PGA level golf course right here in the county. And they had 62 veterans that utilized that program. And I'm happy to say with our Dwyer funding this year, we are going to be able to double that. So the PGA will be giving us 62 spots, and the Dwyer program will be able to fill another 62 spots for that program this summer with the PGA at Muni. So I'm very excited. Thank you. So for those of you that golf, and it's like real golf, not mini golf, I'm great at mini golf, I will be sending out information to all of you for that as well. So dinner is being served, but I'm going to turn the microphone over to our wonderful DA, Lorraine Diamond, who is a veteran from the U.S. Marine Corps, to speak a little bit about her experience. And if she knocks my wall down, she keeps knocking the wall down.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Sarah Barenko for putting this together with her staff. In between the information about the program and the information about the program, I think I would probably consider your intermission for 3 minutes. 3 minutes I was given. I just want to say, first of all, I'm honored for a number of things. And first and foremost, I am very honored to be your district attorney. And I thank the good people of Montgomery County who really gave me the job that I love. And married to that is the fact that I'm honored to be a veteran of having served in the armed forces, regardless of, I was getting my chops broken by the Navy over here, regardless of, then backup anyway, Smullen is United States Marine, so I have backup. But regardless of what you served, one of the things I've really been so welcomed by in this county is the fact that I'm a veteran. And I gotta tell you, when I was campaigning, it was a contested race, and it was a difficult race. And I don't care where I was, if I learned quick that I led with the fact that I served in the United States Marine Corps because people said, give it to me, and signed it. And I didn't have to go through a spiel, maybe once or twice. The dog and pony show didn't happen because Montgomery County loves its veterans. And for that, I want to give us all a round of applause. By the philosophy that we can never do enough for our veterans. And so I want to tell you, I was in the Marine Corps, but I served in a support role. And I have talked to many of you that have served in war, on the battlefield, and whether it was World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, or the recent conflicts, I'm honored to say that we are fellow brothers and sisters of this wonderful organization. I am truly honored. And I want you to know that I'll fight the fight that I can fight now while I'm in office. So as district attorney, I was fascinated when Sarah started talking. Really, I didn't know a lot about the program, so I'm glad to be here. But the TBI component of it, I think, is so important. Our veterans that come, especially, taking it into context in the criminal justice system, they have to be handled differently when they suffer from a TBI. They have to be handled differently, and we need to recognize that, and we need to have those services available. I had a sister with it. I've known veterans with TBI, but I also had a sister who had a TBI from a car accident, so I took care of her for 20 years. And I know that those impulses and those reactions cannot be controlled. And, certainly there's programs to work with that, but it's not intentional. And in the law, we deal a lot with intention. That's something I've been dedicated to. We did start the first mental health court in Montgomery County. We are using the drug court quite actively. And although they wouldn't let us start a veterans court, mainly for staffing purposes and financial purposes, they did allow us to start moving in components of veterans. So although we're not calling it veterans court, we have veterans court. So when we have a veteran that finds themselves involved with the criminal justice system, we're able to service those people in a way that makes the process easier and more productive, right? Because otherwise we're just hamsters in a wheel and we keep running in the circle. We gotta take the Band-Aid off and we have to fix things, right? So I'm proud to be a part of that process. I'm really thankful for this program because you just can't have enough programs serving veterans. If you're not involved in a Legion or a Post, I'm the judge advocate for Post 701 in Amsterdam. I love being a part of that organization. I promise you don't have to come to every meeting. You can go to any meeting, no meetings, events, or just get the newsletter. But we have legions and veteran service organizations throughout the county, and we welcome you and we really want you. So I want to just say thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for welcoming me into this community of veterans, and also for supporting me in this county, because I can't tell you how proud I am to know that a lot of my successes are founded upon your support. Thank you for your service. Thank you to the families who have service members, who have sacrifices as well. I mean, we're going to hear this a lot this weekend with Memorial Day coming. But it's not just the veterans, but their family members that also make sacrifices when are active duty personnel overseas, or veterans that brought the war home with them and continue to suffer in certain ways and need treatments and rides and support or a hand or a hug. And it's that support group and those families that also deserve our gratitude. And so for those of you who are here, I thank you so much for being that person in our veterans' lives. Having said that, lastly, as we know, and based upon all the things I just talked about, freedom really is not free. And it's all the sacrifices that you've all made, whether a veteran or a family member, active duty or retired, that have made this country great and made our county great. And I just thank you so much. And have a wonderful evening. And now, Assemblyman Smolin.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. I'm Assemblyman Robert Smolin. But tonight, it's great to be here because I get to be the retired Marine that I am tonight amongst the fellowship and enjoy it amongst our fellow veterans here. Because to me, it's fantastic. It's a great honor to be here. My job, and everybody go ahead and eat. My gosh, the best thing to do is to keep the crowd is to have them eat while you're talking. Because that way, they're captured. So please do enjoy the meal. It's fantastic. I want to talk just a little bit about the Joseph Dwyer peer-to-peer program because it's really been a fairly new phenomenon in New York State. I got to tell you, I was in the Marine Corps. I served all over the place. I went to Hawaii, Japan, California, North Carolina, Virginia. 6 deployments, 3 tours to Afghanistan, and I know how to organize stuff. And when I got here to New York State, and first realized what an abysmal job we had done organizing veteran services in New York State. And it's a real shame because we have almost 600,000 plus veterans in New York State, and that's a lot of folks when you think about it. And they're all ages. They're from young people to we got some World War II veterans. When I first got back to Fulton County, Gilbert Wynn, he just passed away last year, 106 years old, sort of thing. Fantastic guy. Served in World War II. But we've got a big, robust veterans community in New York City, and it wasn't well organized. And there have been attempts in the past to organize things, and that's what the Dwyer program was about. The Joseph P. Dwyer peer-to-peer support program was designed. It was started by then State Senator Lee Zeldin, who said, "Hey, good on Lee for doing that, right? Because he's a heck of a good guy." He said, "Hey, we need a program that's going to bring all these things together." And the way to do it in New York is county by county. but it was hard to get funding for it because it was a new program. It was a lot of things. It started very small. But what we managed to do in the past 5.5 years since I've been in the Assembly, and those before me, and we were confident. I'm on the Veterans Affairs Committee, by the way. So it's the most nonpartisan committee in the entire Assembly. Everybody that's there agrees what we need to do. And we all get our 2 cents in, and we just passed even some new bills this year. But what we did was we reorganized the Department of Veteran Services, and now we're funding the Joseph P. Dwyer Peer-to-Peer Support Program on a statewide basis for the counties. And that's what this is all about, because it just takes a little bit to be able to organize things. In this case, in a 50,000 person county like Montgomery County, it's going to make all the difference in the world over time. Because we'll find that there'll be no veterans that are left out of the process. Because over time, we'll find them all and we'll bring them all into the circle and have things like this dinner, like these events, like peer-to-peer support. And I guess that's my ask of you tonight. My mission is always to improve something that I touch. Well, tonight the mission is, and I look around, we're a little bit on the older side, aren't we? Right? I mean, I'm 55. I'm 55, and some of you are maybe a little bit older than that. And God, awesome. Thank you for your service. And do we have any Korean War veterans here? I don't know if we do or not, but I bet we got some Vietnam era veterans. Lots of Vietnam era veterans. Lots of veterans from the first Gulf War, which is 30 plus years at this point. Lots of people from the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. And it just shows that it's a continuum. From the Revolution to the War of 1812 to the Civil War to the Spanish-American War to World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the wars in the Middle East and South Asia. America should do well taking care of its veterans, and that's the purpose of the peer-to-peer support program. So what can you do for your fellow veterans? Here's my ask of each and every one of you: is could you recruit a younger veteran to come to one of these things? Because they're out there. They're out there, and I haven't been able to put my finger on it, but they don't like to join like older veterans do. Maybe they don't, and they're busy with their families and their careers and everything. And that's all true, and we want to support them in that. But let's try to get them out. So we got this event here today, but Lorraine mentioned some veteran service organizations like the American Legion, like the VFW, like the MVETS. 100% in support of them, because they, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, they're in our communities and people can enjoy the camaraderie of fellow veterans. But there's also, in Fulton and Montgomery County, the Salute to Service Veterans Organization. And it's an umbrella organization, and we'll send this out to everybody. Maybe Sarah, if we've got a mailing list, looks like we're getting a good handle of who's who. On August 22nd at 4:30 p.m. at FMCC, we're having the dinner. Has anybody been to the Salute to Service Veterans Dinner? We got a few folks. It's a good time, ain't it? It's 500-600 veterans all at once. And we had to take it to FMCC because it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger each year. And it's all volunteer. It's all done by donations, and it's really just a super time. So I want to personally invite all of you to attend that dinner if you'd like to. But I also ask each and every one of you to bring a younger veteran to the next veterans event. Find one. Find one for me. I know you know somebody that would come to something like this, and you should bring them to it and say, "Come along with me, young lady, young man," and we'll make sure that our peer-to-peer, because they're your peers too. They just served in a different era, in a different war, in a different time, and they can be just as much as part of our community. And that's my ask of each and every one of you. So I want to, if anybody's got any questions too, I'll be here for the rest of the night. Love to talk to everybody. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Ted Dans, and he's going to talk about what he's going to do, he's running for New York State Senate to represent Montgomery County. So we'll bring up Ted Dance.
My motto is keep it short and sweet. Because I'm new at politics and I'm new at getting up in front of crowds and talking, I wrote my speech. So I'll stick to the script, I'll make it quick for you. Okay? Number one, I want to start off by saying thank you to Connie from the Montgomery County Public Health Department for inviting me to the inaugural Montgomery military dinner funded through the Dwyer program. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ted Gans, and I'm running for New York State Senate. I'm the father of 5 children, grandfather of 13. I run a heating and air conditioning business in Albany, and a lot of you people here are my customers. You know me, you know what I can do, you know I run a good business. And I think as a senator, I want to get in there at my age. It's not a career move. We need to change things in New York. So tonight I don't want to talk about politics. I would like to talk about the program. Each of you are a special member of the community. There's a popular quote. The origin is unknown, but it's shared by President Reagan and others. It says, a veteran is someone who at one point in their life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. I think it's important to me that we all remember the word hero. It's tossed around so many times. We may speak of our military, but to me, the heroes are the people who signed up. We made a commitment, a promise to society and our country to stand up for freedom, whether you are deployed or not. Whether you have physical or mental wounds, whether you feel okay or you feel like you're barely hanging on. Whether people are aware of your accomplishments or whether you sit alone with thoughts and memories that you carry with you every day. I came up in the Vietnam era. And fortunately, famous for struggles who came. I'll start again. I wrote it. It just took me a while to smooth it out. I came up in the Vietnam era. One, unfortunately, famous for struggles for those who came home with less than welcoming treatment. I myself joined the Navy Reserves in that era, but ended up receiving a hardship waiver and was honorably discharged to tend to some personal matters back home before being employed. The point is, I'm sure that each of us in this room have things in our life that we wish went differently, or we did better, or if we couldn't have done anything different, then at least feel guilty for it. To me, that's normal. Thanks to the Dwyer program, state officials like Assemblyman Smolin and his Republican colleagues in the Senate and Assembly who have fought to deliver funding to the Dwyer program. We have events such as this one that bring people together. We have a chance to address issues we are facing head on together, just like we were always in service. While many of the conversations in the world related to mental health, military service revolve around the struggles such as PTSD, veteran suicide rates, and other issues related to integrating back into society, I, of course, want to encourage everyone in the room to take these issues seriously, as I know you do. As I am sure we have heard before, that you are not alone. And I encourage you to lean on your brothers and sisters in this room in need. But I also would like to encourage you to remember the good. Remember the positive feelings you have with all that is happening on the news and around the world. If we can easily lose sight of that. As I said before, many of us have things we would like to have done differently in our lives, but equally as important is celebrating the things we did right. Being proud of our country, volunteering to serve, protecting freedom, living your life by the code built on the foundation of all right, wrong, and honor is something that everyone in this room should be proud of. Those that serve are a part of a select few in society that chose to do so in that sense. They are the Little League leaders. It's my hope that by encouraging folks to look at all they have to be proud of, we can together once again serve as leaders that put society and our government back on track. Thank you once again to the Montgomery County Public Health Department for having me here. I appreciate the chance to get to know you all. As you probably hear, I'm not that smooth of a politician. I'm not a politician, but I wrote this from my heart, and I meant every bit of it.
And last but not least, for the first time, I get to introduce my new county executive, Bob Purcell.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me without the microphone? Oh, they won't be able to hear me online support. First of all, on behalf of Montgomery County, I want to welcome you home. I know sometimes you were never told, welcome home. So on behalf of Montgomery County and myself, welcome home and thank you for your service. Montgomery County is committed to working for our veterans. It's not just, as we did this morning, putting flags on graves of those who gave their lives. It's about delivering services to the people that came home.
Take your father with you.
And we want to continue to deliver services. The Dwyer program is going to allow us to do that, and we're so appreciative of that. Montgomery County has a great veterans group. We have Sarah, who is the head of public health, and Brenda and Randy, who actually run the veterans office. They make sure that we're taking care of you. They make sure that you have rides to the VA. They make sure that when we need things, that they contact the executive's office and the legislators and make sure that you get what you want. So, in an effort to be short with this, I once again want to thank you for your service. I want to welcome you home, and I want to tell you we're here to support you.
Thank you, Executive Purcell. Now we're going to stop talking and let you all finish dinner. Dessert will be served shortly thereafter. And then Connie will be pulling the tickets for the raffles. So again, thank you all so much for coming and making this event a success.